How's it going? My name is Mary Hargrove, and this is my coming out story. First, I should let you know that I am a Mormon, I'm an Army veteran, and I'm also a lesbian. So, this coming out story is a little weird. I grew up in the Mormon church in New York City, so growing up, I didn't know what gay was, never even heard of it, didn't, I was naive, I didn't know anything. When I joined the Army, I started to slowly see lesbians and gay guys, but at the same time, I still didn't know what it was. And when I was in Iraq, my best friend happened to be gay, and he was an awesome dude. I loved this boy to the day I die. He was a good friend of mine. But I started seeing through his eyes the world a little differently, and I've always been attracted to women since I was about 11 years old, but I really didn't understand it or knew what it meant. So what I did was I blocked it out of my mind. And while we were deployed to Iraq in 2005, 2006, I started talking to my female friends back at home a little differently. And I slowly started to realize, okay, maybe I'm bisexual. Maybe I can like both. And I did that for a little while. And then when I came back from Iraq, that's when I finally realized that I was a lesbian. The only issue with that was my strong morals that I was raised with was very conflicting because my company commander was my bishop and my company XO was my first counselor in my Mormon church in the area. So I would go to church as this Mormon girl, and then I would see, my company commander and my XO throughout the week as a soldier. So I was kind of playing two sides, and I really didn't understand the consequences that would have on me physically and mentally. So, as I was coming out and figuring out myself, I was also lying to my family, which is not something I've ever done. And because of that, I ended up being disowned by my mother for at least 2 years straight. Now, my mother loves me, and I've been out probably about a good 6 years now. And she loves my partner, but it took her a long time to truly understand why I am the way I am. For a long time, she thought it was something she did because my mother herself is a tomboy. And so she thought, well, if I made you wear more dresses, or if I told you couldn't play basketball, or if I told you to stop watching Thundercats on TV, maybe you would be more girly. But that isn't the case because my sisters also grew up watching Thundercats, and they also dislike wearing dresses. But all my sisters are straight. I'm the oldest, and I'm a lesbian. And you know what? I'm okay with that. It's taking me this long to finally be comfortable with who I am. And it's not just because I'm a lesbian, it's also because I'm 4'9". It's also because I was born with a birth defect called a cleft lip and palate. It's probably why you see me stopping so much to swallow. Now, with all that on top of me, and being a Mormon, struggling to even find out who I am has been the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Because I have tattoos. I actually have 16 tattoos, which goes against my religious upbringing. So does being a lesbian. So does drinking and partying and everything that I was told was wrong as a child, I'm doing now. But at my current age, my other issues also has to be, do I still love my religion? Do I still want to follow the the teachings I was brought up to know and love. I've tried other religions, and to be honest, they just don't do it for me. I love being a Mormon. I love the teachings about families being together forever, and I couldn't see myself being anything else. But also with me coming out, I also kind of had to hide myself when I was in the military, and that didn't go over so well. I had a soldier who was in my squad when we went to Iraq in 2007, and she had a crush on me. But at the time, I had a girlfriend, and she didn't like that. So what she tried to do was have one of my other soldiers claim sexual harassment against me and try and get me kicked out of the military. I was her squad leader, and she didn't like that because I came into the unit and automatically became her squad leader when she herself was the squad leader. The issue with that was she was a brand new private out of training, and I was in the Army 4.5 years. 4.5, 5 years at the time. So she didn't like the fact that I overtook her job. So what ended up happening was I was cleared of any wrongdoing on sexual harassment because it was a false accusation, and I went back to my everyday business. What she ended up doing was hacking my email and sending it to my brigade commander, who already knew I was gay and didn't care. And then there was a threatening email or a letter, I don't know which, to the unit stating that if I wasn't sent home, I was going home in a body bag. And my unit couldn't handle that. They couldn't handle knowing that they knew someone was threatening to kill me and they kept me there. Out of my squad of soldiers, I was the only one who was deployed besides my sergeants. We were the only ones who's ever been deployed. And they tried to keep me around for as long as they could, but once that threat came, they had to send me home. Now, I didn't even know that email was in my chapter packet to be kicked out until I got back to the States. When I went to JAG and I had my paper with me and I looked at it, I nearly blew a gasket, whatever the hell, because it completely pissed me off. And I knew who the person was who did it. Now, I could have ratted her out and ruined her career just like she was ruining mine. But then I go back into my Mormon upbringing, and I know that karma will eventually get her. See, everybody's got their own struggles when it comes to coming out. Everybody's got their own stories. Being a Mormon, being an Army veteran, and having a cleft lip and palate, that's my story. I've learned to overcome my issues. Have you learned to overcome yours? You need any help? You need anything at all? I'm an email, I'm a text, I'm a phone call away. I'm on all social networks. Let me know, and have a good day.